like Matt just said, I'm Chris Mayer, running for House of Representatives, District 49, more importantly, running to replace Mike Sparks. Everybody knows who that is. I always get two questions when I meet people. One, why aren't you running for mayor? Well, because that would be redundant. Mayor. And second is always, who are you? Why are you doing this? Well, I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Moved here in 2005 with guitar and delusions of grandeur. It didn't work well, but I fell in love with the area, decided to stick around. And this is my home, so yes, forgive the language, I'm a damn Yankee. You know, a Yankee that stays. But when I was young, up in Ohio, I learned to read very early. My grandmother taught me when I was 4, so I could follow along in church. And Dad encouraged it. He always said, if you can read, swim, and drive a stick shift, there's nothing you can't figure your way out of in life. So he was bringing me newspapers when I was 5 years old, and I'm reading the entire paper. I was a big sports fan as a kid. He was not. I figured out if I wanted to talk to him about something, I needed to find something he was interested in, and that ended up being politics. I'm going to show my age, but in 3rd grade, there was the year Carter and Reagan were running for president. We had a mock election in my class in October before the election came up. And the election results were 14 votes for President Carter, 14 for then Governor Reagan, and 1 for John Anderson. You too, all right. But for a 3rd grader, they were so mad at me. But I remember the look of pride in my father's eyes when I told him how it happened. And he told me he loved that I didn't give in to the pressure to make a popular choice and did what I thought was right. And that's stuck with me ever since. In the 80s, we were victims of Reagan's union busting. My father had a guaranteed lifetime job on a contract with the railroad he signed in the 60s. And in 81, they laid him off. And when the union tried to file a class action lawsuit, Reagan denied their due process, would not allow the suit to go forward. And my dad was about the age I am now. And I got to watch as he sold off everything he spent a lifetime working for to feed me and my sister, to keep us in clothes and shoes. And it is not easy starting over in your late 40s. But by God, he did it. And again, something that's always stuck with me, the value of hard work, sacrifice for those you care about. I'm going to fast forward to today. I don't want to take up too much time here. When I moved to Smyrna, with what was going on nationally, I decided I wanted to find out who I'm going to be voting for this next election. Be it Mariah back there, I was focused on the U.S. Congress. The first event I found was Stephen Reynolds, another one of our candidates for the House, was holding a Cocktails with Candidate event over at Murfreesboro Wine and Spirits, and I went. And the attendance at the event was such that he and I spent a lot of time one-on-one speaking. And I noticed as the conversation went on, he was more interested in my positions on things than I was in his. And the conversation ended with, have you ever thought of running for office? I think you'd be great going against Sparks. I'm a carpenter, for God's sake. No, I never thought seriously about running for office. That's doctors, lawyers run for office, right? But he put the bug in my ear, and I started looking into it a little bit. Had not made up my mind until after I had told my mother that I was thinking about it, and she called and told me that she had told my dad, who is now 82, in a home, 6-stage Alzheimer's patient. I mean, he's not in good shape these days. But she said when she told him what I was thinking about doing, his eyes cleared, and he started to cry. And she asked why he was crying. He says, I can't believe it. I can't believe my son is carrying on my fight when I'm gone. Okay, I just had to do it at that point, right? But that's what I plan on doing. And this is, sorry, it's especially poignant because I got a call yesterday. He's going to be lucky to make it to the end of the week. Definitely not going to see the election. And I'm not trying to bring the room down, but I do believe he's going to see me win this. And I do believe he's going to be a guiding hand on my shoulder as I fight for what I believe in. For expanding Medicaid for the poorest among us. Yes. For good roads, good schools for this growing population we have in Rutherford County here. We have a booming economy. We need the infrastructure to keep up with it. Public money for public schools has to be, vouchers are not the way to go. You do have school choice. If you can afford to send your kid to private school, send them to private school. But don't take money from our kids in public school. The opioid crisis. I favor legalizing medical marijuana as an alternative painkiller to a drug that was originally intended for terminal cancer patients. I'm going to end by saying I've always been a Bruce Springsteen fan since the early 80s. The first time I saw him dancing with Courtney Cox, I've been a big fan. What can I say? Courtney Cox, right? But saw him in concert several times, but once he introduced Born to Run with, remember, in the end, nobody wins unless everybody wins. And I'm Chris Mayer.